Hey Instagram, hey Facebook, what's up guys? Okay, so we are going to literally jump right in. For those of you who don't know me, I am Mercedes Fontaine. I am the face behind The Living Purpose, and welcome to hashtag TLP Talks. So today I wanted to touch on motivation, right? Motivation is something I feel like we all struggle with here and there. Like, motivation comes and goes, and the biggest thing that I hear about is, why can't I stay motivated? Why is it that I'm super excited one day and then the next day I can't seem to get anything done because I don't have the energy? And so I'm going to kind of unpack that for you super quickly because I want to be respectful of everybody's time, and we're having tea time later tonight, probably like 9ish, maybe a little later. But anyways, so I'm going to give you 4 things to think about whenever we're talking about motivation. So the first thing you need to understand is the analogy of thermostat versus thermometer. Okay? So if you're on live, I want you to tell me which one you think is better for you to be. Do you think it's better for you to be the thermostat, or do you think it's better for you to be the thermometer? Okay, and while you type that in the chat, I am going to take a sip of my coffee. Yep. Okay, we got it over here. Facebook, I don't know if we've got it. Got to think about this one. So, you want to be, yes, Daisha, you want to be the thermostat. And I'm going to explain to you why. Okay? Whenever you're comparing the two with a thermometer changes according to its surroundings, right? So whenever you or your child has a fever and you put the thermometer in their mouth, it goes up, okay? But with a thermostat, you choose what temperature you set it to, and it stays there until you change it, right? So this is what we have to do with our motivation, okay? We want to be the thermostat, and so we want to set our intention for our motivation and decide, I'm not going to be lazy. I'm not going to quit just because I'm tired. I'm going to set the temperature, and I'm going to ride this thing out, right? So the first thing, number 1, that we have to realize with motivation is it is an emotion. Just like anger, joy, anything else, it's an emotion. So it comes and goes, right? Unless you're regulating it, okay? So you don't want to strive for motivation. You want to strive for inspiration. And inspiration is what's going to take you through and draw you to something bigger. Because motivation is an emotion, but you're consistently inspired in some way, shape, or form, right? There's always something that's inspiring you. There's always something that's pulling on your heart and calling you to something bigger, right? So you want to strive to kind of lean on the things that inspire you and that kind of activate that passion within you. The next thing, number 2, that you want to think about when it comes to motivation is know your why. Right? So why do we want to be motivated? Why are we choosing to be the thermostat and set our temperature to where we want it to stay, instead of letting all the outside forces come and shift and change us and turn us into a thermometer? You need to know your why, and you need to visualize it. It needs to be deeply rooted within you. Okay, so why do you have goals? What are you chasing after? What is that thing that it's kind of like that secret little romance that you stow away to at night that just creates this burning, rolling passion inside of you that you can't get your mind off of, and you're constantly thinking about it, even though you don't know if it would be possible? Visualize that, okay? Have it deep rooted. Take that thing that you can't get your mind off of and visualize it in such a vivid way that it activates all of your senses. Okay? When people ask me why I stay chasing my dreams and I stay going after what I know that I'm going to achieve in the future, it's because I visualized it and I made it so real to me. Hey, Holly. I made it so real to me and I unpacked it in such a way. For those of you who don't know, when you hit diamond level in my business, it means you have helped thousands of families, right? You've helped thousands of families. You have built an entire community how you want it to be, okay? And for me, what the community that I want is I want a community that I have built of women and mothers of all ages, all shapes, all sizes, all colors. None of that matters to me. I just want it to be a community of women that come together and they're so tight-knit that we lean on one another and we build each other up. There's no judgment. There's no shade being thrown. None of that. Right? So in my business, when you hit diamond, you go to Utah and you walk a red carpet. And you walk that red carpet to your fight song. So whatever song that you choose that represents your fight to help people, you walk to that song. Okay? And I have sat down and I have visualized that moment to such an extent that I have literally visualized the confetti falling and touching my skin. I visualized walking across that red carpet in my gala gown with my husband on my side to my song, which is going to be This Is Me, the song from The Greatest Showman. And I've literally imagined the emotions that I'm going to feel in that moment. To look to my right and see all these women that I have helped. All these women that I have helped, be able to afford organic groceries, or be able to get out of their toxic job, or be able to get out of their toxic marriages. All these women that I've helped, I've imagined walking and looking at these women. Okay? So whenever you're visualizing your why and what you're reaching and expanding for, it needs to be super, super, super vivid. Because that emotion evoking feeling is what's going to pull you to something greater. So when you have days that you're exhausted and you don't feel like chasing your dreams and you're not being the thermostat, you're being a thermometer and letting everything shift your focus and your mindset, on those days it will remind you why you're not quitting. Right? It's going to remind you why you're not going to give up. Because I'll tell you this, I'm not quitting because I'm tired. If I was going to quit because I'm tired, I would have quit a hot minute ago. I'm not quitting until I'm done. And even at that point, you ain't going to get me to quit. So your why and your goal needs to be that vivid. Okay? Number 3, you need to write your goals out. But there's a specific way you need to do this, right? So you sat down and you visualized and you've imagined how it's going to feel, who you're going to see, everything when you reach your goal, right? You need to write them down, and it needs to be goals that matter to you. Not goals that just matter to everybody else. Don't set a goal because, so-and-so would be proud of me. Don't set a goal because, this goal is easy. I can do it. I know I can achieve this goal. Don't do that. Set a goal that's going to matter to you. A goal that's going to keep you coming back. right? A goal that's also going to stretch you so that you can grow and learn and develop along the way. Okay, so have you ever heard of SMART goals? Anybody? Type yes in the chat if you've heard of SMART goals. Okay, Instagram's heard of it. SMART goals is something that I really, really am glad that I heard about, because it makes so much more sense and it makes things more tangible. So with SMART goals, you're going to take each letter of the word SMART. They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. Now, the reason that your goals need to be measurable is, how are you going to know if you're making progress if you have nothing to look back at? So even say your goal was, I want to lose 40 pounds. Okay, there's two ways that that's measurable. You got the number on the scale, so you can measure that number and track how many pounds you're losing each week. But you also have your physique, how you're looking, and your clothing size. Okay? So say you're in a multi-level marketing business and you want to hit a specific rank. Okay? You take that rank, you get in your back office, you see how many overall volume you need, and you divide that down to say, okay, I need this many recruits. Right? I need X amount of recruits to reach that rank. So make sure it's something you can break down and track, okay? You also want it to be achievable, okay? It needs to stretch you, but it needs to be achievable. And it needs to be relevant. So when we're thinking about achievable and relevant, if you're starting from scratch, okay, and your goal is maybe to be a millionaire. I want to have $2 million. Don't set that goal for a year and then expect to reach $2 million in 12 months. Right? You could do $2 million in 2 or 2.5 years. You could do that. But unless you're really going to hustle and put your nose to the ground and go, you're not going to reach that in 12 months. So make sure it's achievable and it's relevant. It's something that's going to stretch you, but it's something that even though you're stretching, you'll still have to push a little bit, but it's still something that you could grab, right? And then you want it to be time bound. You want to have a deadline. Okay, and the reason you want to have a deadline for this goal is because, I don't know about you guys, but me, if I just say, oh, well, I want to save 10 grand. I'm going to put back money here and there, and then by the end of the year, I'm not going to have 10 grand saved. Okay, but the way I'm wired, if I say I want 10 grand by November, I'm going to take 10 grand and divide it by however many months that is away. So I know I need to be putting this amount in my savings every single month. Okay, so when you have a time stamp on it, when you have a time binder on your goal, then it's going to push you to, 1, be able to track it better, 2, be able to break it down better so you know what you need to be doing every week or every month or even every day. That's how I do mine. I break my goals down. My yearly goals get broken down into monthly goals, which then get broken down into weekly and daily tasks. Okay? So that's how I do that. But you want to have a time stamp on it. Okay? And the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about motivation and goals is your energy equals your results. Okay? And you want to plan for legacy. I don't think there's a single person on this planet that wants to die without leaving something behind. Right? I don't think there's a single person on this planet who wants to die and nobody remember them. I know whenever I die, when it's my time to go, I want to have a massive legacy left behind. And when I say legacy, I'm not talking about money. Money's great. If I'm a millionaire, that's fabulous. That's awesome. Whatever. I want the kind of legacy that when I die, the thousands of women that I have helped show up at my funeral and tell their story. The kind of legacy that I want to leave behind when I'm done here is that my 4-year-old son, when he's grown, he can say, my mom worked so hard and helped so many people out of the kindness of her heart. I want him to be proud of me. I want him to get up there at my funeral and say, my mom was a boss. My mom looked anything that came at her in the eye and took it head on. Unapologetically, without fear. You need to play for legacy. Whatever your goals are. No matter how big, how small, how immaculate, how basic, it does not matter. Whatever your goals are, play for legacy. Play for the long term. Don't play and don't fight and work just for stuff that can be in your hand 1 second and taken away or spent or whatever the next. I heard this thing, and I'm pretty sure it was on a TikTok, but it resonated with me a lot. They said, chase after your goals as if someone is following you around with a camera and filming your life's documentary. That got me, y'all. That got me right here. I'm not even gonna lie. Because do I want my family to be proud of me? Yeah, I do. But the thing is I want to be proud of myself. That's why I do this. I want to look back and I want to say I made an impact. I didn't just float by. I didn't just fly by the seat of my pants. I had a plan and I made an impact and I changed lives. I helped change lives. Right? So play for legacy. Reverse and engineer your goals. And remember that you set the pace. So, I get this question a lot. Actually, people will ask me, they'll say, I'm so motivated. I'm doing all the things. I've got everything going. I'm working in my business. I'm working for my goals, XYZ. But my spouse is just not doing anything. Like they're not doing any personal development. They're not working on their goals. My team, they're not working. This, that, and the other. You set the pace. So if you want your spouse or your downline or your team or whoever's connected to you to grow with you, then you have to lead by example. You have to set your pace and you have to stick to it. Right? You have to stick to it. So I've noticed since I've been ramping it out, okay, in my business, I've been listening to 5 hours of personal development a day. Okay, I've been reading all the books, doing all the things. My husband, who's not really necessarily a personal development kind of guy, has all of a sudden started spouting off all these personal development quotes. He's been saying all these personal development, inspirational kind of things. Because I've set the pace. And I've stayed with the pace. And he's starting to catch up. It's literally trickling down all through my family. My sister, my mom, hey Derek, my dad. I'm starting to see everybody here and there. Hey Jeffrey, start catching up. So remember that you set the pace. Set your pace. Stick to it. Don't stop when you're tired. Don't give up on your dreams and your goals when you're tired. Don't give up on your legacy because you're tired. Don't quit because you're exhausted. Quit when you're done. Quit when you're done. Alright, guys? So that was super quick. I'm proud of myself. I didn't go off on tangents. Stuck to my script, my notes. I will be back on, what time is it right now? 8:14. I will be back on for tea time around 9ish. Okay, and I'm going to get unready with you guys on tea time and tell you guys some juicy details. So, I will see you guys then. I love you guys. Go own your life. Live your purpose. Walk your legacy out. Okay? Bye.